Hey Seekers, Medicine here. This is a reading for Capricorns, whether your moon, sun, or rising. This reading might help you. It's a weekly reading for the week of January 15th to the 21st. And I hope that it helps you. So we have the Tower. We have Knight of Pentacles. And we have the Emperor all in reverse. So I'm putting the three of them together, and what I'm seeing here is a resistance towards allowing something to die. I'm seeing with the Tower card, there's something that is about to take a dramatic destruction. You're about to go through a very big change going on right now. A very big change. But perhaps one might be very resistant to this change. And what I'm seeing is that this change is actually for you to be able to manage your life or aspects of your life the way that you need to be able to. But because there's a resistance with allowing this change to come through, there's kind of a holding on going on, is how I look at the Tower card in reverse, for example. You know, there's a lot of destruction happening. It's still happening. But one is doing everything they can to kind of hold on to what's being destroyed already. And one is not allowing themselves to embrace this change. Perhaps it's very there's some fear there. You know, I'm sensing there's some big fear there, I'm sure. Some big insecurity, you know, that one is having a hard time sort of kind of letting that fall out. It's almost like holding on to something that's already been destroyed, or something that is already been damaged. The damage is done. You know, why cry over spilt milk? That whole saying. Milk's been spilt. You know. But it's very hard for you to adjust, perhaps, in this. So there seems to be some resistance there. And then with the Knight of Pentacles, it seems like, again, it just seems like this whole thing seems like one is holding on to something that has already been destroyed and already been spilled. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse is like, you know, someone that doesn't want to let go of everything that they've worked for. This is a person that, you know, the Pentacles, they're slow moving and they're very practical and pragmatic. This is probably someone that is probably very, very possessive right now, very overly possessive of their possessions at the moment. It's probably someone that could be very, I mean, there's a lot of different meanings, but the one that's coming through really big for me is very possessive. Like someone that's just kind of not wanting to let go. That's kind of the, looking at all three of these, that's just kind of the biggest thing that I get. And because of that, there's this inability to manage your life the way that you need to manage it. So hopefully you're someone reading this towards the beginning of the week and or before this week actually happens, because this actually may help you if to kind of turn things around. Be prepared for a sudden change that's going to happen, and something that you've been holding on to, that you thought you knew, that you thought was going to be there forever, that was very familiar to you. Be prepared for an aspect of some sort to kind of fall away at the beginning of this week. Be prepared for that to happen. Prepare yourself, brace yourself for it. I think that's the most important thing here. And then with the Knight of Pentacles, because it seems like it's kind of something that you feel very passionate about, perhaps, but in a way, but in a way it's like your passion, your pragmatism, perhaps is kind of misplaced. Perhaps you've been kind of working on this thing for all this time and it's kind of run its course. It's kind of time for you to let go. And not hold on too tightly to things. And I just kind of get that. It's kind of like the Four of Pentacles, but you know, I really kind of, that's really what I'm getting through this, that there's something you're going to have to let go of, and it's going to be, it more than likely will be in a material sense. More than likely it will be a material possession that you have that will kind of change. So, you know, this could be a new place that you got, for example, that you thought you were going to be forever there, and then all of a sudden things don't work out the way that you wanted them to, you know, and it happens kind of earlier on, you know, and there's this inability to manage funds, or there's this inability to manage that possession, and so you kind of have to lose that home. Maybe getting the home didn't turn out to be the way that you wanted it to be. And that's just kind of an example. I would definitely start thinking of some alternatives, some areas in which you can refocus your energy, and some ways in which you can salvage this issue. The Shaman of Reflections shows up. The Shaman of Reflections. I'm actually going to open up the page and read from it what it says, but already the Shaman of Reflections kind of means that this is really a time of looking into yourself. That's kind of what I gather from it already without even reading the page. This is going to be a time of kind of like self-reflecting and like looking at your situation. So the Shaman says, I am the Shaman of Reflections. I offer you who calls upon me the opportunity to see beyond your mirror image and to recognize within yourself the truths that you may never have perceived. I challenge those who believe that there is only one pathway to follow. In the mystery of the mirror, I show each individual his or her true self. Reflections can be many things. For example, the thoughts we have in quiet moments before undertaking some new task are times of contemplation, when we recognize things we have never before acknowledged about ourselves. The Shaman of Reflections teaches us to look in the mirror and be challenged by what we see. We may encounter a person or a situation or an aspect of our life that we have hidden from. This shaman holds a serpent of wisdom, symbolic to how the true answers reflected back to us can make us wiser. We must take heed and change paths accordingly. So, interpretation, some keywords here are self-clarification, being aware of other paths, acknowledging the truth, learning to accept reality, testing the validity of challenges. So this is going to be a very challenging week, and it seems like it's really going to cause you, the Shaman of Reflections is kind of challenging you to kind of look in the mirror, kind of reflect on things, kind of see yourself, look at who you truly are. Maybe the Tower card is happening for you this week because everything that you thought you were, everything that you've been holding on to, it's saying this is not who you truly are. Okay? This is not who you truly are. Everything that you've held on to is not a part of your true self. And so it's time for you to let it go. And maybe, you know, and maybe there's this big part of you that's been thinking that it's been a part of you for so long that perhaps you didn't know how else to be or think or believe. You know, maybe this has been you for very long, but has it been the true you? Ask yourself that. And the Shaman of Reflections, which I truly do hope that you do work with this shaman. The Shaman of Reflection sounds like a fine shaman, being able to look in the mirror, being able to kind of see yourself, see your true self for who you truly are. I really do hope that you're able to look in the mirror and see yourself for who you truly are. Everything that you've worked up to now, it's all been good and it's all been fine, but does it follow your true path? Perhaps there is a different path for you to follow with the Shaman of Reflections. And in order for you to find that truth, you must first look in the mirror. I would do it literally. I go look in your bathroom. I go look in the mirror. At night, I would look in the mirror. We have the, you know, the waning moon going on right now. I would look in the mirror. Okay? If you have a little face mirror that you like to look at, I would look in the mirror. If you're in a car and you're driving, look in your rear view mirror. Look in your side mirrors. Look in these mirrors at yourself. You know, and you can kind of kill two birds with one stone driving. You can make sure no one is coming and make sure that all pathways are safe, while at the same time realizing the true self of who you are. Because there's a true you that perhaps you haven't touched yet, and you've been building on all of these things and not letting them go. Perhaps there's some fear there that needs to get worked out. But either way, this is kind of forcing the situation to happen anyway. So I want to brace you for that, and I want to let you know that it's going to be very important for you to try and work with it. Work with it. How can you work with the Tower card? How can you work with the sudden destruction, the sudden dramatic destruction that is happening in your life, Capricorns? How can you work with it? Ask yourselves that question. Really dig deep. And I really do hope you get to work with the Shaman of Reflections to really give you kind of that edge, kind of that guidance. Really do. Seems like a wonderful shaman to work with this week. Okay? All right, Capricorns, that's the word for this week. I hope you have a great one. And we'll see each other in the next reading. Ahoma Taki Asen.